handovers, but for this Shenzhou 15 crew, they did not only China's first ever handover, but also the second one, right? With
They look after one experiment
with the optical telescope.
Lands in the ocean, so they will have less helicopters, but they will have more ships. So yeah.
Still, we need several minutes for the touchdown.
We just had another update there saying that the tracking is all in order.
Yeah.
That's the capsule there, the Shenzhou 15 three-man crew.
And besides this main parachute, you know that there is also a backup chute. If anything wrong happened to the main parachute, the backup chute will.
How far do you think it is from ground now?
59秒，报告完毕。维修2号，正确，蒙氏。明白。
Oh, there it is.
Okay, we can see the
各号注意，返回舱着陆。
Touchdown for the Shenzhou 15. They're back to Earth.
Welcome home.
Indeed.
北京，雄鹰报告。
And the astronauts, actually the 02, probably Mr. Deng Qingming, must conduct the operation of cutting the
from the inside. From the inside,
yeah.
So that is the Shenzhou 15 crew landing back on Earth after a 6-month stay up the China space station.
Yeah. We can still
Welcome
see the
home
smoke.
to Fei Jinlong, Deng Qingming, and Zhang Lu.
北京，雄鹰报告，雄鹰已到达着陆现场上空。
Right, we're hearing an announcement there from one of the search teams that they reached the landing site.
So again, this time it's not in a vertical position. Because
this is the camera, presumably from the different from the closest
from the helicopter, from that helicopter.
北京第4次漏电预报已发出。
you know, that's
后
the
续
reason
由东风按计划组织
it's
搜
not
救
in
回
the
收工
vertical
作。
position is because the center of its mass or the centroid of the vehicle has some deviation from its symmetrical axis. So that is the reason when it touches down, usually it will lie
on its
down.
side, right?
Yeah. So although a vertical landing will be more comfortable, but usually it seldom happens.
So this sort of landing, they're essentially landing kind of sitting down, right?
As I mentioned,
like how we're sitting right now, but touching the ground like
that
this.
only happened in Shenzhou 6 mission and the Shenzhou 13 mission.
The last one was also on its side as well.
Yeah. So you can see how fast the rescue team, they've
Yeah,
already...
you can see people running towards the capsule there.
Yeah, they've arrived.
Got 2 helicopters next to nearby.
So at least 3
fantastic.
helicopters has arrived. We can see 2 in the video and the other one is taking the video.
Well, how nervous were you, Professor Yang, during this?
I'm very nervous. It is because you know that for every flight mission, the launch and the re-entry is always the most dangerous part.
It's fraught with risks, isn't it?
Yes. You know that there were 18 astronauts lost their lives in history, and 11 of them lost their life during the re-entry.
It is definitely a huge risk. But then in the context of how many astronauts have been to space and come back.
Deng Qingming or 02.
How they just press something, right, and obviously it just shoots off the parachute? Is that
there's like a button on the side.
53秒，东京交通动速3分53秒，北纬41度38分52秒，北纬41度38分。
So there's another announcement of the landing site.
Yeah. So this is reported by the ground team.
Yeah, okay. So this is for the benefit of the rest of the rescuers.
So this is the final coordinate of the landing point.
东风雄鹰报告。请讲。
Oh, they must be thrilled right now.
架设开通完毕。
It's still a long process before they're coming out.
都不明白。
And coming out to a beautiful view as well. Look at the sun.
Yeah. So in the dawn of the Gobi Desert.
That's right.
Very, very beautiful scene. And the 3 medical vehicles, 3 vehicles with each astronaut share vehicle will arrive soon. And you know that even there are toilets inside the vehicle.
All right.
北京，我是深圳15号。
We're hearing from the Shenzhou 15 crew.
神舟15号，请
voice
讲。
of the Shenzhou 15 crew.
Last
the youngest, right?
Is the last one in the second batch of China's astronaut team who
this is also
conducted his maiden flight.
So the second team, I think we're already on the third batch now.
Third batch.
So the ones who went up with Shenzhou 16.
Shenzhou 16, there are 2 members from the third batch.
Right.
And that's for my personal view, the second batch is very, very lucky. There are 7 astronauts. All of them have already had their flight missions.
No backups.
Yeah. And that Mr. Fei Jinlong is act as the chief of the astronaut team for several years before.
They have finished the installation of the astronauts' seats.
So both of Mr. Fei Jinlong's mission, he acted as the commander. He is also the commander of the Shenzhou 6 mission. So this is he's also the commander.
The Shenzhou 15 are in steady hands.
He's always the commander.
Do you think they'll be coming out? Oh, see, the camera is coming, so that means they're coming out very soon.
So you may notice the ground team.
Really simple, so it's mostly manual. Now it's more automatic, and then the spacecraft, the space station is very complicated. So you need a flight engineer to be able to sort of maintain it, and then obviously there's all these experiments that needs to be carried out. You need people. Right now, Professor Gui, the first civilian up there, he's still a journalist. He's actually his major is in spacecraft control. So later on, you'd have people working on specific experiments that are very difficult.
So more specialists.
Yeah, so they are actually really nothing to do with space industry whatsoever.
So you see a lot more scientists, perhaps.
A lot more scientists. So that really comes with the more sophistication of the missions.
But the kind of combination though of usually always a 3-man crew or three women crew, but there will always have to be someone with a sort of astronautic background, with a PLA background.
You always need at least a pilot,
right.
Just in case of emergencies.
Right.
Usually, the commander should have the qualification to be a pilot.
I see. And
then
also,
the other
2 could
we
be
need another pilot
or
to be a backup of each other. So in any case, if someone for instance, some serious ill, the other one can take his role as a pilot. This is extremely important in abnormal cases when something wrong happened during the launch or during the re-entry or during the docking phase.
Right.
So the pilot can take the role to
right.
save the whole mission.
So we're seeing the 3rd astronaut from the Shenzhou 15 crew, Zhang Lu, being carried out now. 03. That's the number is.
Zhang Lu is also a previous pilot of the Air Force.
He's very young. He's only in his 40s, isn't he? Is he the youngest of all these
I believe
missions?
he was born in 1976, maybe.
北京明白。
Mr. Gui Haichao and Mr. Zhu Yangzhu are the youngest astronauts now in China, only 36 years old.
Oh, they're 30. Well, that is young.
So both were born in 1986.
Whereas each batch is roughly 10 years younger.
So here we'll be hearing from.
你好，张璐，我是总台央视的记者。首次飞行就长达半年，此时此刻回到祖国的怀抱，有什么心里想表达的？后续有什么计划？
我想说，能够回到地球目在阳光下，真的很好的。
I'm really thrilled to be back to my country safely. I'm feeling good, and the mission of Shenzhou 15 is over.
我现在心情十分的激动。
I'm very excited.
我在空间站的时候。
In the space station, I often looked out through the porthole window looking for my motherland, my hometown, and the Dongting Lake. Unfortunately, the thick clouds always block my view, so I couldn't see clearly, but I know my mother and my hometown always been in my heart. Going forward, we will first get back in shape as soon as possible and also to resume training to prepare ourselves ready for the next mission. And we will always live up ourselves to the trust of the party, the country, and the people. Finally, I have some words to share with you and also my inspirations. I see a sea full of stars and I give my heart to the country. Thank you.
He seems to be in very good spirits. That's Zhang Lu,
Yeah.
our third and last astronaut with the Shenzhou 15 crew. So now the capsule is empty. And he'll be lifted off to his van as well for his medical checkups. I like that he said that it was nice to feel the sun on Earth. Right. I mean, 6 months in space. There's no concept of that, right?
Maybe
no
more
concept
favorite
of time,
is the
no
fresh
concept of
air.
warmth.
Fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks to be in a good spirit and a good house.
Definitely.
Yeah. He looks like he might be able to just walk on his own.
Maybe even run.
Right.
I'd have been waving excitedly. So it's Fei Junlong, Deng Qingming, and Zhang Lu are now all out of the capsule with the Shenzhou 15 crew, and we heard him there saying that he feels good and he's looking smiley. So definitely in good spirits. Who do you think will be the second one to come out?
It should be Deng Qingming.
So sort of in order of seniority?
Right, there's 01, 02, 03, the
right,
designation
of
of the astronaut. Yeah.
As I mentioned, 02, Mr. Deng Qingming is in charge of cutting the parachute because only there is a button near him.
And there's Commander Fei waving. So he's 01. That's his serial number, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's the commander.
And they'll be taking him now to the little medical van.
Yeah. The medical vehicle, there are 3 of this kind of vehicle.
One for each of them.
Each astronaut.
What sort of checkups would they likely be doing there? Just heart, blood?
Their biological parameters of their body. As I mentioned, there are even toilets prepared for them.
When will they
very comfortable.
When will they get to eat? I mean, presumably their body needs to adjust for a bit before they can take any
specially
foods,
prepared
right?
for them. Yeah.
Do we know what could be on the menu?
Not too salty, maybe.
Something healthy.
It's personalized now, but tradition is when they go out, they eat dumplings, and then when they come back, they eat noodles.
Personalizes, and they might get to decide, might get to request what they would like.
Right, probably different types of noodles.
So you can see the orange ground vehicles is the medical ground vehicles for prepared for the astronauts.
3 of them there. So we just heard that the Deng Qingming is getting ready to come out as well.
Yeah.
So
you know that even for the Shenzhou 12 mission, we only have 1 vehicle for the astronaut. But since the Shenzhou 13 mission, we have 3 of these vehicles. So more comfortable for the astronauts.
Right. And more attention on them as well.
Yeah.
Each one gets a crew that they deserve. And that's the teams there preparing the seat for Deng, who will be coming out very soon. And I think that's their luggage, isn't it? That little bag there, each of them. Or is that? Did they take that out of the capsule?
No, I think
Oh no, that's something that's there. That's something the search teams probably brought.
Yeah, that came with the ground crew.
There is Deng Qingming being lifted out and onto his seat, and he'll be soon taken to the medical van as well. Wrapping him up. It looks very windy there.
Yeah. So that's pretty good that they had a smooth landing, because wind can be a problem.
Can make it very shaky.
Right.
And we'll be hearing his
欢迎回家。
Welcome back
25年的
home.
坚持与努力，
After
此时此
25
刻
years
返
of
回地球，
persistence and
有
hard
什么
work,
心情想表达的？
would you like to say at this
我回
moment?
到地球的怀抱，回到祖
I'm
国的
very
怀抱，
happy to be back
看到
in
这
the
么多亲
embrace
人，
of
我
my
非常非常
home,
的高
and
兴，
I'm
非常
very
非常
glad to
幸福。
see my family
此
and
时
the
此
loved
刻，我
ones.
想
I'm very happy.
感谢全
And
国
I would
人
like to
民
say a
对我
big
的
thank you
我
to
们
the
政府
people
的
of our
关注、
country
支持
for
和
their
鼓励。
great support and encouragement to our
也
crew,
感谢航天
and
一线
also
的
to
所
all
有
of
工作
our
人员的
colleagues on the
180多天
ground
的
for
日夜
their
陪伴。
accompanied day and
此时此刻，
night
我非
in the
常想
past
念
more
家，
than
想念
180
家
days.
乡。
I really miss
25
my
年的
hometown and
非
my
典经历
family